Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, and getting listeners back again with another episode talking brew crew like we like to do. You know the drill. We are on every day, 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time is our upload time on iHeartRadio, Castbox, Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Rumble. You name it, we're there. Every source that has podcasts, we do our podcast on. So if you want to support this channel, go over to SeatGeek. You can use the code MillerParkMinute and save yourself $20 off your first order with SeatGeek. You can also go over to patreon.com/MillerParkMinute and support us there. You can also join below on YouTube. That's a little bit different than subscribing. It's like tipping for the service that I provide for you. That being said, let's get into the show. You want to follow me on all the social. Miller Minute is my handle on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Miller Minute on Facebook. Yeah, those are all the platforms. So let's talk about, we lost the series today, dropped the series to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hitting was there. It was just not as there as we needed to. So we started out this game with 3 runs on the back of a Willie Adames home run. Good. Always good to have Willie scoring. Yelich is getting on base, but Yelich isn't hitting as much. Yelich's average has actually dropped down to 274, just below our guy Contreras. Yelich with a 1-for-4 today. Contreras with a 1-for-4, restarting that hitting streak. Santana with an 0-for. Frelick 1-for-4. 2-for-4 for Willie Adames, 3 RBIs. Mark Canha 2-for-3 with an RBI. Turang, Tellez, Miller, no hits. Montesterio 1-for-4, and Taylor 0-for-4 as well. So the pitching story here: Freddie Peralta gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. He only struck out 4. This was one of his worst outings in a while. And he did give up the long ball, which always tends to bite him, unfortunately. McGill did not give up any runs today. Perguo, who has been spent, used, and abused, did give up the 2 runs. And that's not a shock. Milner scoreless. Uribe scoreless. They've overused Perguo. That's the bad. Downright ugly. Dropping a game to a division foe, which helped out our brothers to the south. That's downright ugly. 8 hits, 4 runs. We were close there. Still, we don't like to see that ratio at 50%. I've said that over and over again. All right, so being that's the results of this game, the good, the bad, the downright ugly. Let's talk about the scores around baseball. So the White Sox beat the Royals 6-4 today. The Cardinals beat the Braves 11-6. It can be done, folks, even by the last place Cardinals. No, I think Pittsburgh's in last. Detroit lost to New York 4-3. The Mets lost to the Nationals 3-2. The Marlins 11-4 over the Dodgers. The Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 over the Boston Red Sox. Glass now had a huge performance in that one. I believe he had like 14 strikeouts at one point or another. Mariners continue their winning ways, 8-4 over Cincinnati. The Phillies 5-1 over the Padres. The Arizona Diamondbacks 12-5 over the Colorado Rockies. The Athletics 5-2 over the Blue Jays. The Cubs 8-2 over the Giants. Yes, the Giants could not help us out today. Guardians 2-1 over the Twins. Final. Our game was final, and then in progress 5-0 over Orioles over the Angels. Their team is the Angels are kind of a dumpster fire at this point, so it's just gotten ugly. Houston is currently beating Texas 8-3. So let's talk about what those scores and today has done to our standings. So we have dropped now to 77 and 62. We are 1.5 above the Cubs with their win and our loss. Just shrinks that gap, unfortunately. Shrinks the gap. And the Reds are sitting steady at 5.5 back, so we don't got to worry too much about them. We've kind of already beat up on them for the season. But let's talk about the standings for stats around the team, hitting stats to be specific. So we have a brand new batting average leader in William Contreras, which I already mentioned, right? Christian Yelich is still leading the way in runs. Willie Adames with his homer today is at 23. Runs batted in is still Christian Yelich at 70. And stolen bases is still Christian Yelich at 27. On the pitching side, we've got Freddie Peralta with 11 wins. Devin with 32 saves. Corbin Burns with a 3.63 ERA. And Freddie knocked some more strikeouts. So 191 for Freddie on the strikeouts. And whip is still 1-0. Actually, it's gone down a little bit. 109. It was 115 for Corbin. So that being said, let's get into our rehabbing players. Talk about the minors for a minute. I know it's a new segment. It's weird for me too, guys. I normally don't talk about the minor leagues like this. But that being said, we got the Redbirds versus the Sounds today. What do we care about here? Why are we talking about this? Because we want to know if any of these guys are looking to come our way, are going to get added to the 40 man. Josh Donaldson had an 0 for 3. Greg Allen also had an 0 for 3 with a walk. Donaldson also had a walk. Monte Harris did not have an official at bat. Abraham Toro 1 for 4. Jahmai Jones 1 for 4. Tyler Black walked 3 times today. Wow. All right. It was a 4-1 victory too. I didn't mention that, but it was a 4-1 victory. So Claudio McKendry, none of the starting pitchers that we care about at this juncture. So 4-1 victory. Donaldson is getting his feet wet, I guess, in the Brewers minor league system. So the other one that is of interest for us today is the outing in the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers that our good friend Mr. Aaron Ashby had today. He did 1 2/3 innings. He allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 2 walks, struck out 2, and 1 2/3 innings. Wagoner and Merkel came in after that. Looks like they gave up a run apiece. So 1 run across the board. So the 4-1 loss. The other thing, Eric Brown Jr. is 0 for 4. Luis Laura 0 for 4. Wilkin 1 for 3. Gray Jr. 0 for 4. So there was just lack of hitting on that side as well today on that side of the ball. Not surprised. So in other news related to the minor league moves, related to the minors, we did call up Theo Vera, selected from AAA Nashville, and sent down Clayton Andrews. No surprise there. I told you that was going to happen. I'm not seeing that as a bad thing. It's just a young guy getting his first outing is going to need a little bit of tune up, you know, at the end of the day. But we are moving on and moving on to the next few series here. So we're done with the Pirates. We are continuing the road trip to the New York Yankees, who've been struggling as of late. So we have a Friday night matchup of Ray versus two to be determined for the Yankees. Then we have a Saturday matchup of Miley versus to be determined. That's a 105 start for that game, and a 12:35 on Sunday. Burns on the hill. That's Friday night's game, 6:05. So 2 day games over the weekend. So the thing with the New York Yankees is the New York Yankees are probably not the New York Yankees that they have been. They still have a lot of talent on that squad. There's nothing to say that the New York Yankees aren't a talented squad. But that does not mean that we are in a position to just go and think we can just beat the Yankees. I mean, we can. But let's just be excited and enjoy what we've got. The big story of today's game was the final call for CB Buckner. CB Buckner missed this call by a foot, and that was how the game went final. A lot of people are upset. I do have some angry. So the Barrel MKE put out some information to earlier this afternoon. It looks like get to know the newest brewer, Theo Verga, previously pitched for the White Sox, Mariners, Yamura Giants, has a 3.35 ERA in AAA, speaks Portuguese, Spanish, English, a little Japanese. One of 5 Brazilian players in MLB. Holds the fastest pitch in MPB at 102.5. Good to know. And that was a sweep for the Cubs against the Giants too. Just a that's salt. A game we should have swept in a series we should have swept versus a team that sorry. Series we should have swept, games we should have won. It is what it is, guys. I'm angry. I'm very angry about this, but we got to take the long approach. And if slight things can get better, we were hitting still in this series. Nothing was totally out of whack. Nothing was crazy. Perguo just needs some time off. He's been used and abused. I was talking to one of my regulars, shout out Bill, and he's like, yeah, Pergo is just used and abused, and it comes down. That's what it comes down to. So despite the offensive woes, I still think we're in this thing. We've still got our aces coming out strong today. Today was not the strongest start for Freddie Peralta, and I think that has something to do with today's loss as well. I mean, you look at the guy gave up a couple runs, and it makes it hard work for the rest of the team. And I hate to hang it on Freddie like that, but at the same time, sometimes you have to. Now, Freddie's been near flawless for very few months for the last solid calendar month. So that's That's the long and short of it. I really, really, really don't want to rag on him, so I'm gonna just shine on and hope that we continue to just pick him up, and pick him up with the bats. And I'm sure Freddie's just as upset. I mean, I didn't listen to the post game interview, but I'm sure he's just as upset. So, news story coming right off of Fan Nation. Jesse Winker has a new injury. This is almost comical at this point. Jesse Winker has another injury. What? Uh, uh, yep, Kurt Hogue. Some injury updates from Pittsburgh. Jesse Winker hurt his right quad on Friday in Nashville. He's been moved back to the injured list from his rehab assignment. Oh my god, I didn't even know that. I just read that story now. Some people are already doing looks ahead at next season, talking about free agents and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about where Burns is going. I don't want to talk about if we're gonna get Woodruff or if we're gonna re-sign Adames. I just don't want to do that. Um, I'm not ready to explore those options yet. I want to talk about one thing at a time. Speaking of one thing at a time, it looks like Garrett Mitchell will have one important doctor consultation this week. It's written by our buddy Tyler. Go over and check him out, Wisco Sports Fanatics. Has been recovering from his shoulder injury. He's sustained to his labrum. So far, he's been making good progress per report Kurt Hogue. Consultation with the doctor this week to determine when he can return to action. It'll be the doctor's consultation this week to determine when he can return to game action. Milwaukee Brewers news. Last time Garrett Mitchell was in Milwaukee, which was about 2 weeks ago, he opened up about his recovery from surgery. He revealed that he had been doing some hitting drills. He had not faced live pitching yet. So it looks like he's got to be cleared to return to action from a doctor later this week. And then they're going to try and get him some play. If he doesn't play, oh well. If he does, awesome. Just awesome. So there's also another story out there about our good friend David Stearns. David Stearns is now basically he's like post the trade deadline. He is basically like now a free agent, so where he can go to the Mets or whatever club. There's also talks about Houston. He can now go to those clubs and do interviews, and the Brewers can't hold him back. He's technically an advisor, so he's on the payroll right now, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily doing anything. He's just basically like riding his time out. I don't think that he's making any decisions on the day-to-day. I think that's all up to Matt Arnold. Matt Arnold actually did a interview with the guys over at Foul Territory. Sorry, Foul Territory. Talked about his potential interest in Pete Alonso and kind of where this team is going. I don't want to speculate on anything right now. I'd love to. Well, maybe we'll do some side episodes, some deeper dives on some of those topics. But I just don't really want to speculate on anything at this point in the season because, again, my main concern, and I think the main concern for all of Brewers fandom should be not whether we're playing here in 7 years, which we are. We got another 7 years, so let's worry about that later. I think it should be what's going on the field. We're talking about a magic number on reviewing the brew. Matt Carroll writes this article 7-3. Now, this isn't a Tuesday article, but it says, let's see here. We all know how the magic number works, right? It's the number of games. So it was down as of last night. It was down to, as of Tuesday night. I'm sorry, as of Tuesday night, it was down to 22. It's probably jumped back up to 23 as of right now. Actually, I can look. If you guys don't know how to track magic number, it's the E number on the standings board, basically saying, okay, this is how many games you have to win to finish out. And let me just take a look here. So yeah, 23 games, basically. 23 wins or losses from us or the Cubs. Every time the Cubs lose one, we gain one, I think, is how it works specifically. But if we win 22 more, we got our spot. And with our upcoming schedule, I mean, I'm not saying it's not impossible. I guess I'm always the optimist, right? I always say that we could win. I think we could take 2 or 3 from the Yankees. Going into next week, we've got 4 of the Marlins at home. They're going to be fighting because they are a wild card team yet. And then we got the Nats. That should be a pretty decent one. The Cards, the Marlins again, the Cards again, and then the Cubs to finish it off. So I mean, this thing is wrapping fast, guys, and we're right in the thick of it. And even if we flip to the wild card, these are teams we can take on, and I'm not worried about that. So that's all I got for you guys tonight. This has been one heck of an episode. Been fun. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends. Remember, we're here daily. Check out our videos, our YouTube, or just listen to the audio. Like, subscribe. Thank you, guys. We will catch you in the next one, and go Brew Crew.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.